teaching on your first session of the symposium. My name is Colette. I am the mentor in Sancorna. I work on the island of Bum Bum, a remote island in Sancorna, a really beautiful island. Today, two of the teachers from SK Bum Bum will be presenting on researching your students about the manage your classroom. Here we have Ida. Ida has been working in Bum Bum the last 3 years. And she's not an English optionist, but she's taken on the challenge of teaching English and rose to the challenge she did. Hence she's standing in front of you guys today. So I think she deserves a big round of applause. And beside Ida we have Akmal. Akmal is also working in SK Bum Bum, and he has been there for just over a year, where he has become head of English panel. And also during the ELDP project, they took some classroom research projects. And one of the problems they were having in the school was classroom management, which obviously you are here, so you can sympathize with the problem. So today they're going to give you some practical solutions, okay? And this is an interactive session. So we do ask that if you want, you put up your hand and you ask a question, or you give your own ideas. It's not a lecture, it's interactive, okay? So what you put in is what you get out, okay? So we're going to begin with a PowerPoint presentation from Ida. And can I just stress that this is Ida's personal experience and her personal solutions. So of course your situation will be different and we welcome your input. Okay, so the first part of the session will be Ida's PowerPoint. Then in the second part of the session, Akmal will be handing out some case studies dealing with classroom management issues, and that will be your opportunity also to give your personal input and solutions. Okay? Okay. Okay, so welcome and enjoy. Please, can we give them some encouragement here? Well done before you leave when you go.
Hello. Okay, I'm a bit nervous and a bit blank. So what shall I start? Okay, researching your students and manage the classroom. Okay, like what my mentor said, this is on my personal experience. This is not one thing you shall do, but this thing is my rank on my student, and maybe what I'm presenting here is not work for your student, but it works for me. So it might suitable for my student, it might not suitable for your student. So I just go to our presentation. Okay, researching on my student, I found out there are 4 headings. 1, the routine, second, the sitting, third, the alternative classroom, 4, the learning material. Okay, the first heading, the routine. I realized that pupils need a routine in their classroom, because the main reason why I discovered the routine for my classroom. 1, when the pupils have the routine, the lesson run more smoothly if things are organized. 2nd, help them to schedule so they know what after this what the activity after this. And 3rd, we help in certain situation for they are mentally prepared. Okay, now let us look at the areas where I apply the rules, the routine. Okay, in the routine there are 4 headings. VAK is heading for learning style. I will explain it later. 2nd, rules. 3rd, control book or label for the teacher actions. Okay, what is VAK? VAK is catering for visual, auditory, and kinesthetic and kinesthetic. Okay, I give you example. Okay, have you ever experienced that you already told your pupils you already get your pupil task, and then they come to you and ask, teacher, is this correct? And you smile and nod. But then the same pupils came again and come to you and ask again, teacher, is this correct? And then you told him, yes, that is correct. But then again, the pupils come to you and, teacher, is this correct? So actually, what's wrong with the pupils? Are they a lack of confidence, or are they trying to get your attention, or maybe they don't understand? They don't understand. How can they don't understand when you already smile and nod and yes, it's correct? Because maybe one, if the pupils is a visual person, when you smile and nod, the pupils will understand that what she's doing is correct. But if the pupils is auditory, he don't understand the smile, but he or the pupils will understand what the pupils hear. But how about if it doesn't work with two? Maybe the pupils are kinesthetic. Okay, how will you understand it? We have to touch the pupils. Yes, very good. That is correct. That's why the pupils don't understand when you not smile or you said, yes, that is correct. So as a teacher, we should presenting ourselves with these three. So we don't really cannot make sure because the pupils dominant or preferred learning style, or maybe they have mixed and evenly balanced blend of the three styles. So we are finished with the behavior, and the second routine of my classroom is rules. Okay. Before I do researching on my student, I kept boasting in my class. Hey, you! Don't run into class. You please standing on the not staying the chair. Please stop running in the class. Where is your pencil? So what I do? I don't tell them don't be naughty because I found out it's too abstract. They don't understand what is naughty. Instead of telling them don't be naughty, I tell them in my classroom there are 4 rules. 1, do not make noise. 2, do not run in the class. 3, do not step or tap on their table. 4, when teacher will teach me, when I count to 1, 2, 3, you have to be quiet and put their finger in their lips. Okay, when do I tell them? 1, the very first time I come into the class. 2nd, every time a rule is broken. Okay, the first time I enter the class, and when I read them all the rules, don't smile. Don't tell your student, please don't speak nice. Don't please, don't running on the class. Don't do that. But please don't make noise. What is it? Okay. Do not make noise. Do not run in the class. Do not step on your table, because when you don't smile, it creates curiosity in the pupils. So they will more aware of you. So they will more behave. Okay, what the teacher will doing if I broke the rules. So it's very important. The first time entering the class, don't smile. Okay, what happens if they break rules? Okay, if the pupils break the rules, 1, I call the person, okay, and I tell him that she already broke the rules and ask him what is it. Akmal, you already break 1 rule. What is it? So if the person cannot answer, I will ask the whole class. Okay, class, Akmal already broke 1 of our rules. Okay, what is it? So the class will Yeah, we'll
We'll tell
say
you.
yes. If Akmal or if the pupils continue to break the rules, I will repeat the step 1 and give the person warning.
Eva, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How do they understand the rules in the first class? When you say do not make noise, how do you explain? Do you translate? Do you do action?
Usually I'm not really translation. I don't translate it, but I do gesture. For example, I say don't make noise. Okay, don't make noise. Yeah, do not run in the class.
Okay.
What else? Don't step or tap on your table. That's I try to use
Mine. Okay.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Control of book. Why I put control of book? When I come back when I return from my maternity leave last year, I found half of my students don't have exercise book. Half of them lost their activity book and the exercise book. Okay. So what I do? At the end of the class, I will collect all the book and I keep it in the basket. Either they finish or not, I will take the book. Okay. So this is example how I manage my book. This is for 1 year FB, 1 year 2. Year 1, 1B, 1A, and 2B. Okay. Why I take your book? Why don't I just tell him buy a new book? Because I am teaching in island school. It's not easy for them if they lost their book to go to the town and then come back. I mean, it's not what
It's a remote school.
Yeah, it's not, because just to buy a book, they have to travel. So that's why this is what I do. I take the book.
Also to avoid them from getting lost.
Yes. Okay. Control of the books. Okay. As you can see here, this is how there are 3 columns here. This is how I distribute the books during the class and collect. Okay, distribute. Actually, it's not stand on their chair, but beside their chair. Sorry. Yeah, I will ask the pupils to stand beside their chair, and I will write the name on the book, and the person will sit. Third, for those who don't have pencil, ask them to borrow it. Because instead of I lecturing them, why don't you bring the pencil? Why blah blah blah? Okay, go find pencils. Nobody, your sister, your brother, as long as you have the pencils. And during the class, usually I don't collect all the books and mark. What I do, I bring my pen and I go to my student, and if they already finished the question number 1, I just give the question number 1. So how this helpful in my classroom management? They know I check their book, so they will do the work. So they don't take advantage running the class, playing with their friends, and collect. I take 10 minutes before the class to collect, not just collect, but to check their book. It's not like I check all the questions, but I check either they are doing their work or not. If they don't do the work, I will put the question mark or punishment for those not finished the work. I need to explain here. Punishment here is not like just you beat your student, but maybe you can give her the pupils extra work. Okay, I want you to do this and send it me up during the break. Okay, only tomorrow or something like that. And I will stamp the good work of my student. Okay, this is example. When I take the question, the pupils only done the question of 1 and 2. So question mark. Sorry. This is how I in my book. I just told him to make the correction in the book as long as they do correction. Doesn't mean it's exercise book or the as long as they do it. Okay, this is I will have stem here. So actually, this is what I'm planning. This is what I'm doing last year, and this year what I'm planning. I will have a few chalk a star. Maybe if the work is excellent, maybe the pupils deserve to have 5 star, 4 star, something like that. So I also planning at the end of the year or at the end of the semester, I will count the stem. So if they maybe have a 10 stem, I can give them something.
Prize.
Yes,
an award.
prize. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Is that in STEM then?
Yes, in STEM.
Do you tell your student what that signifies?
Um,
What is the meaning of that STEM?
Yes.
So what is the meaning of that STEM? The snail.
Not really about the snail, but because on that time I only have this snail. So I use this snail because it is difficult.
Because people's love like animals.
Anything.
But
So that STEM tells that only the good work.
only the good work.
The neat one.
Yes.
If the work is not good, then there's no STEM.
Yes.
Okay.
And even my pupils forgot the dot or the
Full stop.
Yeah,
the full stop.
You don't need.
Yes, I don't give them. Yeah.
Because they like they do not show it to their friends. They got something from teacher.
Alright.
So this is okay. This end of the control of books. Now we are looking for the 4th heading of the routine, the teacher accent.
Okay, before we go furthermore, is there any questions from the audience? Anything they would like to share or add?
I have a question.
Yes.
How do you balance your rule of being quiet and then you're encouraging the children to do speaking activities? You're telling them not to speak and then you're asking them to speak. Do they get confused with make no noise and practice speaking, or is that not a problem?
Okay. For example, one of our methods, right? You know, the like for me, in my first class, I would tell them that when I show them this, I put my finger on my lips, and they know it's keeping quiet. How do I do this? First class, I won't do anything. I'll just stay quiet in front. And just stay quiet, and maybe I'll show you a little bit of demonstration.
And honestly, that's the way you look.
So then, your people will suddenly go, oh dear, why is the teacher doing that? Why is he not talking? And then slowly, look like this, and they understand. Okay, when teacher wants you to be quiet. Okay.
So body language.
Okay, about me, when I told my pupils, okay, 1, 2, 3, and put their hands in on the lip, and when I will say, okay, everyone put their hands down. So that time they know that they are allowed to speak. Yeah.
Does anyone else have any other suggestions of what works in their
Yes.
class?
You happen to have taken lesson for all the rules.
Yes.
Meaning to say that when you do this and teacher, no, and then you still do like teacher, yeah.
At the beginning of at the beginning, yes, I'm facing the problem, but when I forgot, you have to enforce the rules. So when you keep telling them, okay, the rules, so then you take time. So yeah, because this year I'm teaching year 2, which is my year 1 last year. I don't have I don't lose more energy and voice because they already knew. Yeah.
So they're used to the routine.
Yeah, and this for the routine.
And that is why the first class is important.
Yeah.
First class is
The first impression, don't smile.
Anybody else?
Routine is important.
Anybody else who has
Just one
an opinion? Yes.
By collecting their books daily on a daily basis, does that mean they don't have homework to do? Or is there other types of work that you don't give them here?
Yes and no. Actually, why I say yes before? Okay, last year honestly, I take the risk that they don't have to do their homework because it's too risky for them bring their books. It's too risky because I have when they come to school they don't have books, so it's more difficult for me to get to do the lesson. But what I do this year, maybe I can give them a handout for their homework. And or shall I move to the the teacher aspect. Okay, this is an example for worksheet when I'm out of school.
Like for today, for
Yes.
example.
Yeah, just now. Okay. Okay. When the teacher is not in the class, when the teacher is not in the class, pupils need the routine. Okay, this is an example how my worksheet, my student. Okay, sorry, I need to. This is an example of my worksheet that I give my pupils during my absence, and I already signed it, and they have to put in their exercise book. Okay, so why we need this? One, with or without relief teacher, the class is still in chaos. Second, if the teacher is the relief teacher is in the class, okay, the teacher maybe don't know what to do. He will say that, okay, buat kerja masing-masing, do your own work. So the pupils don't know what to do. They get bored, walk their friends, and start make noise, and probably not happen. Probably start a fight. So what I do, I leave worksheet and check it right after when I went to school. Okay, I know it takes time. It takes time during the class to check the worksheet, but it's worth it because when pupils know you check their the worksheet, they will know, okay, teacher will check my work, so I have to do this. Okay, if the punishment for those who are not do the work, like I said, is not a physical punishment. And 6, usually I will mark absent on page of the books of absent pupils. Okay, usually when I mark this, I don't ask them to do it, just it for my acknowledgement, so I know, okay, why this the pupil is not doing this, or because he absent. So maybe he can do the page during as a punishment or enrichment in the class. Okay, the routine. Like I said before, I have some of my pupils don't have the activity book, some of them don't have the exercise book, some of them are slow learners. So what I do, I mix them. I know why I mix them, because they will help each other. The strong student will help the slow and also the lightest person, because maybe you could help what to not strong, not like that. So they will make them cooperate in the group.
They'll ask their friends.
Yeah. So I think yeah. Okay, on your
Oh yes. Sorry, I'm also a bit nervous. Okay, everybody's focusing here. Okay, now what I would like to ask is, why is it important for us to have routine and rules as well? Why is it important? For example, like me, when I'm usually, this is my first class, okay, let's say this is my first class. My first class, I enforce a rule. My rule is that when I come in, I do not want to see anything on the desk. Bags beside your chair. Hey, bags beside your chair and hands on your desk. Why I do this? Why am I doing this? Focus. I want my pupils to sit comfortably, to understand my lessons, and they are focused. so they don't move like snakes or anything. Our pupils, they love to put their bags on their chair. They love to put their bags on the chair. When I ask them why is it they love to put their bags on the chair, it says there's two reasons. It's more comfortable. They say, no, it's not comfortable. Another reason is, teacher, I don't want to get my back dirty. I don't want to get my back dirty. But now, audience, how about you? Do you have any experience that you would like to share? Any others? Your personal experience. Come on. Anybody? Do they have any personal experience they would like to share?
About what, rules?
How about the rules and routine in their class? Do you have something unique? A unique rule? Or do I have to choose somebody from the crowd? Or maybe I have to
Do
choose.
you have anything you'd like to share?
Anybody?
I know that Zoanna's great.
Say?
The same.
Oh, come on, please.
I do like my finger, get quiet, take my fingers, be quiet. Okay, everybody put up your hand. 1, 2, 3, come, put up your hand. Your hands are there. And then say quietly, put your hands down and be quiet.
Put your
I think
hands.
it's good for my class.
Anybody else? Don't be shy, I'm a shy person too. Okay.
For me, in my class, I used to use music to control my class.
Oh.
To get them control the class, how to put them, how to get them in, how to focus in the lesson.
Sorry, can you give us example? Yeah. So,
For example, before I start my class, I used to use music to attract their attention. Before, after the previous lesson, so to get them ready to the next lesson, they have to be calm, to clear their mind, to receive the next lesson.
To attract their attention.
To mentally prepare them for the class.
Yes.
Oh, for the, yeah. So do you use different types of music, like fast music, slow music? Very good.
We will share this in my session.
Okay. Will be good. Anybody else would like to share? Vic? Yes.
I use a behavioral chart.
Behavioral chart. Oh, yes.
There are 3 colors. Green for ready to learn, blue for best behavior, and red at the bottom for you're in trouble. So, what I do is I print out the names of each of the pupils, about 30, and I laminate them, and I use Tackit to tack the names. At the start of the lesson, everyone will be on ready to learn, and if they're behaving well, I put them up, and from that they get the motivation to learn properly because they have their focus on that. Not their full focus on that behavioral check, but at least it gives them an indicator that they are behaving well.
Very good.
And if they go down to the red zone, which is a little,
Danger level. Beware.
yeah, beware. I can't say I threaten them, but I do tell them that they need to meet the discipline teacher. So our discipline teacher is quite,
Fierce.
you know what I mean. So
Very
yeah.
interesting, because that goes back to the learning types that Ian was talking about, the visual learners. It's great to see. Yeah.
So, if there's anything else anybody would like to add? Or we can move on. We'll move on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for your response. Okay, now the second heading is sitting. Okay. So this is example of my classroom. Okay, as you can see, this is example for my classroom. Yeah, I forgot what shall I say. Okay, why is the sitting is important? Forgot? Okay, in my class, what I do, usually I don't ask, when I teaching in my class, I ask my students come in front. Why? Because I found out the student at the back always take advantage of the distance to do things. So what I do, I ask them to sit in front of the whiteboard so I can control them. It's not like they're writing all the 1 hour on the floor. No, it just say maybe sit and look at me, and then they can back at the table when I think they are already ready for the activity. Okay, people sit on the floor in row or semicircle. Well, I prefer semicircle because all the children are near the teacher, so the teacher can see everybody and didn't pay more attention. Okay, this is example of my class, my bills. Okay, why this has big effect on my classroom management? Like I said before, to see and culture pupils and to help people sitting at the back focus. Okay,
Any questions?
Any questions?
Okay, sitting. Okay, I have one method of sitting. Boys and girls. Boys and girls, boys and girls. But this requires an equal amount of boys and an equal amount of girls. Now, when we were kids, do we like to sit next to, like me, I'm a boy. Well, no, I'm a man now. Okay, I'm a man, and when I was little, I don't like, well, this is true in children too, I don't like to sit next to girls.
Controls you.
Yeah, I don't like to sit next to girls because I feel different. I feel shy. Yes, thank you very much. I feel shy. Yeah. I feel shy. I use this method of control. If there's, I feel like my class, like last year, they were hyperactive. They were hyperactive, and I found out that I have more or less an equal amount of boys and girls, and I pair them together. There were a lot of complaints, and some of these people might take their bags and change places afterwards.
Yeah.
But I enforced that rule, and then I found out that they were starting to work together. They were working together. They were learning to work together, but at the same time, they could fool around. And now, what are they do? Do you have the same thing? But do you have something more different than ours? Share with us your experience.
Can you refer back to the teacher in the classroom?
Yes.
Are they wearing shoes?
Yes.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
How in terms of cleanliness, figure cleanliness?
Yes.
How? I mean, we are talking from your point of view as a teacher. It's good in terms of classroom control, but now we're looking in terms of the overall
Parental issue.
Yeah, parental issue.
Well, what I can say as a teacher, I am manager of my class. So I will make sure the class is conducive for my students. If not, I will not ask them to sit on the floor.
How do you guarantee conducive? Like during break time, they go out to the toilets, you know. Outside it's not all concrete. I believe it's not all concrete. So how do you, I mean, this is good. I just wonder whether you have any alternative in terms of cleanliness.
Yes, actually I'm prepared to have the mat for my student. Yeah, but it's not. What I'm planning is not I'm not doing it yet, but planning to do it. Yeah.
In some schools, I know,
Yeah.
like they take off the shoes outside. So you can guarantee cleanliness because before they come in, they have this spray, mats, whatever. But like after 10 o'clock, if they were to run in after they come back from I don't think as a parent I would allow my children to sit like
I take Anita's class as well, before she starts her class, if I may, she always asks them to clean the class. She has like a dustpan and brush in her class, and they clean and they pick up the rubbish. And
Because there's workers working there, so we
I've never really seen our students dirty, I don't know why, maybe for
Well,
or cheap mats.
thank you very much for your opinion, and I will not take note. Yeah. Well, actually, like I said before, this situation is what I do is might suitable for my student, but not suitable for your student.
So I'm talking about the overall management.
Yeah.
I'm looking from I'm from Jaminan Quality before. Now I'm speaking as a PPD now.
Yeah, okay.
So and I'm speaking as a parent also. Now we have alternatives as far as this is concerned. Now you mentioned in terms of pembersihan kawasan. Yes. What I mean is this is good in terms of classroom control. But I'm talking in terms of can we do it better in terms of cleanliness. That's all. Nothing more and nothing less.
Yeah, that's why I say if we can do more.
We can do better.
Yeah. That's why I was what are the
Like
alternatives?
cheap
Cheap
maths.
Yeah. Okay.
Or the
Thank you
children
for
can
the
read.
suggestion.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have a question. I see that in the picture you have 3 groups. How do you prefer to sit your students based on their level of proficiency, or you prefer to mix them up?
Actually, I prefer to mix them because, like I said before, the strong student will help the weaker and also the learners. Actually, usually, not usually, but before doing this researching, they are sitting according to their abilities. But when we try to mix them, like I said, they are, when you have quiz example, it's wrong. Don't do that. Don't be quiet and don't be quiet. don't make noise, or we will lose the mark, or they will help each other. Yeah. Okay, I think I have to move on. Okay, now, the alternative classroom. Okay, alternative classroom. What is alternative classroom? In my class, I'm having this problem. One, the classroom sitting, as you can see, the table is big and narrow. Second, the class size, and the third is the noise pollution. Some of class in our school have wooden partition between the class. So, this is picture. So, for example, this is my class. This is the wooden partition, and the other class is reading or singing. My pupils cannot focus because maybe they want to sing also. They want to know what happened to other class. So, what I do, the solution of it, I created alternative classroom. Is it to set up and play games as there are more space and change the environment. Okay, this is when I take out my pupils out of the class, I use the sliding window as my whiteboard. I put the manila card behind the glasses, the window, so I can write and erase on the glass. Or this is example of my class. I know the issue of sitting. It's hard, like the math.
Buy some maths.
Let's try it again, ma'am.
Okay. Here.
Oh.
I know. Yeah.
This is just an example.
Okay, how about if your school don't have the sliding window? I have a solution for it. In learning material. Actually, we're moving to the fourth headings, the learning material. Like I show you before, the sliding window or your board. If you don't have, you can have this movable board. What I do, I wrap the mounting board with the plastic, so it's erasable. So you can bring the whiteboard anywhere in your school that you think it's conducive for your student, and you can control them. Maybe under the tree, maybe at the canteen, maybe at the school hall, or yes.
Why do you take them out? Why do you have 3 classrooms? One in the classroom, one with a window, and one in the garden. Why do you have 3 different types of classroom?
Besides of the noise pollution, maybe because of change the environment. Maybe you don't have. Maybe the lesson of that day is just reading. So just take them out. They don't have to stick on their table only. Or maybe you need to play games. You don't have to, say, okay, tarik meja, what's the meja?
Pull the table.
Pull the table,
Put it
arrange the
aside.
class. Then need to again. So yeah, about the space.
Besides children, they love new places. They want to go outside.
Yes.
Run around. They like
Besides that, you also can use this as, for example, you are teaching year 1 and you have 3 class of year 1. When you writing this, you don't have to rewrite 3 times. You just bring this to 1A class and then you bring it to 1B class. So it saves your time. Yeah, it saves your time. You don't have to write okay, and then the class will write again and write again. Yeah. So the third is the reusable card. Okay, how did I come out with this? As you can see, KSSR, one of it is to write neatly in the line. In my class, for example, okay, when I keep tell my pupils, okay, please write this is B, don't do like this. So when they don't understand, I have to keep rubbing it and I have to line again, rubbing it and line again. So I prepare laminating paper with the line. So I just write on the laminating paper is several time. And also actually what you can do with this erasable card is fading words. Maybe some of us is familiar with this. Okay, what is fading words? For example, actually I have 10 set of the laminating paper. Example, this set of today is day of the week. So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, blah blah blah, with the neatly written, handwritten on the erasable card. So after I teach them, what I do, I take out one of the card. Yes, Siti Nurhaliza, what is the day of the Tuesday? So he will answer. So you can slowly take out the card. So you don't have to, rub and write again. So it's really helpful for my class. So now it's end of our presentation.
Okay. So now, as Ida just shown you today, one of the things when we bring our pupils outside is because they love to play outside. Well, they love to go outside, and like me, for example, I would bring them to my resource room. We have a resource room in our school, okay? And I tested this like once or twice, and the next day my pupils came up to me and, teacher, resource room? No, not resource room today. Okay, then the next day they will ask, resource room or classroom? Do you want to go to the resource room? Yes, we want to go there. Why? Because they love new places. They don't want to be stuck in the classroom. They get bored in the classroom. We bring them outside, go outside. They want to be, how should I say this? Charged. They want to be recharged. Okay. But before we go on to our case studies, anybody would like to share with us?
I would like to ask.
Yes.
With regard to this sitting on the floor without mat, do you have any complaint from parents or from the students?
No.
That's why
You
I
are
said
in escape to
it's not like
they don't complain.
right? So far, I don't receive any complaint. That's why I said if I receive any complaint, I will. But before I receive any complaint, I will go ask I will prepare the mat for my.
You must remember, 10 cents if it's not stolen, it's not considered as stolen.
Yes.
Alright?
Yes.
Don't wait until the case happens.
Yes.
Because when we talk about SOP, standard operating procedures,
Yes.
so I'm looking from the perspective of management. So this is good, what you're doing is good, except you need just to fine tune it, that's it, nothing more, nothing less.
And another thing is, because they are kids from the island, so they don't complain because they are used to simple life.
Yeah.
But I think by, providing the maths and all, that is education itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now, can I ask you to do me something?
Yeah.
Favor.
Yeah.
Can the audience please move into?
No,
We're going to
pairs now.
have to.
We're going to have to move quickly, so we're only doing
Yeah.
one case study, so they can discuss in pairs.
Okay.
Say where.
We're doing case study, so please get in pairs. Okay, with pairs. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, this is your pairs. And you don't have a pair.
I know that's what I said to her, but try and finish quickly.
You don't have a
Okay,
pair.
well, what do we do now?
Okay,
Oh, we
thank
don't do
you.
a case study, sorry, we don't do a case study.
Since we're running short of time, we'll be doing only one case study right now. Okay, I'll hand it out.
Let's start to that chord. I know, I'm going to sorry about it. I know, I'm going to such right. Okay, well, you said it now, so what do you do? Okay. So you have about 2 to 3 minutes to discuss this with your partner, and we'll get some feedback, okay? Because we're running out of time because we started late, so we have to try to accommodate for that. So the whole day doesn't run late. So you can take one each and pass it down. This is a case study of a typical scenario in a class.
One each or one pair?
One each. I think there should be one each. One each. You don't take
Okay, one.
No expense spared. One each.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I know. That's what I said to her. We'll finish our house so the whole day is running late. But finish in 5 minutes.
Yes, there's one more.
She did well, didn't she? Other people wouldn't
Now, based on the case studies here, the G represents the girls and the B the boys. So the teacher first reads the text and the student following the books. Some of the students don't have a book, so they stare into space. The teacher then drills new words using flashcards, but the boys at the back there, they don't participate, they don't do anything. Number 3, the teacher displays the flashcard and asks what it is. Class shouts the answer. Number 4, the students, they complete the practice exercise in the activity book. Some of the students do not have a book, so they walk around. They leave the class and generally they disturb their friends since they don't have anything else to do. The girls in front and the first 4 boys do the activity and bring it to the teacher. Only the 4 boys and the girls in front are doing the activity. When the class ends, the boys at the back have not completed the exercise and one is sleeping right now. Some of the other boys and girls have not finished the exercise, so they do not show the activity book to the teacher and put it in a bag. Is that what they do? They do it at home. So now, I would like to ask you, okay, can you give me your opinion on this type of situation? What would you do? What would you do in this situation? How would you handle this situation?
Rearrange.
Yeah, rearrange.
Okay, so take a few minutes to think about it and give us some ideas.
If there's any question, you can put up your hand. I will come up first. Thank you.
Next housekeeping.
And move them around. Imagine this is your classroom.
No.
Yeah.
If you have 14 in the morning, like housekeeping,
Yes. G or B? Girls. G is girls. B boy. There's only one boy. This is a class. So now,
The whole day is going to go askew.
The other sessions are going to start anyway, whatever happens. So you've got no choice, really. Like if people want to eat, and drink there. I've got to go and video another session, etc. So it's.
I think it's fine because the intro in the morning ran late and they came here.
It's going to be like this, I think, every morning and every session probably.
They're like, they're on the world.
Any problems?
Day-to-day teaching. Prolog means masuk balik cerita terus. Background, there's attention. And something comes there.
Okay. Can I have your attention, please? Okay. Now, does this look familiar to you?
Yes.
Has anybody had this kind of situation before?
Yes. Always.
All the time. Some have it all the time, and some, the lucky ones, have less of the time. Okay, now I would like your feedback. What would you do
An
now?
hour and 45 minutes. That's a mistake.
What would you do in
That's
this
a misprint.
situation? In your opinion, how would you arrange this?
They must
this
have
rather
catered
chaotic
for
classroom? Awesomely chaotic, that is. Anybody? Anybody willing to share?
Well, one lady here said to move the students around to a separate corner.
Anybody else? Move the students around. Yes, place the students around.
Place them into groups.
Place them into groups.
Why?
Because there needs to be a leader in each group.
There needs to be a leader.
More control. But preferably 4 in the group.
4 in a group.
Because there's about 20.
With a leader.
And sir, could I ask you, what attributes would the leader have? How would you choose the leader?
They have to be the fast learners.
Fast learners.
Yeah, and preferably with the ones with the books as well.
The
So
ones
they
with
can
books.
share. Yeah. We can't have a group with no book.
Yeah. We're the most fast learner with a book.
Anybody else? Come on, I'm a shy person.
In touch with the other three as well.
Yep, that's
We
it.
have a leader, we have a secretary, we have a noise controller, presenter. They are responsible, and we can rotate this class.
And how do we elect these leaders, secretaries, and noise controller? Are the ones also with the books?
Yeah, they can discuss stuff, and then they can rotate.
Very good.
Anybody else would like that?
Place the
Yes.
weaker students in front and point perhaps that might be in class a mental mentee thing as well, where the proficient student is assigned to maybe 2 weaker students. And when the teacher is not around in class, you see you have someone they have someone to look up to. Is it?
That person guides.
Yes, that person guides, and make sure that the student knows that he's what he's assigned to. So when the student has a sense of responsibility, he performs better. Is it?
Very good. I like that, because in that situation then you could have maybe a student a student that's not very good at writing, but he may be good at reading, so he gets to show his strengths and his very nice.
Well, actually, I do that without I realize, because when I absent, I will tell all the class when I am absent for this day, so this is your task. After I bring the class, I will call 4 pupils and I told them when I absent, please take this in my table, so please give it to your classmate. Yeah, it's it's like a prop for them that okay, teacher believe me, teacher asked me to do this, then yeah, it's very helpful. It's work.
They like it. They like it. Anybody? One more? Yes.
We haven't really talked about it yet, but one of the things that I would use is a lot of positive praise. We've talked a lot about what you can't do, rules, don't do this, don't do that. Sit there, don't sit there, sit in groups. But if you're encouraging and motivating them all the time and finding good behaviour and praising that good behaviour all the time, then they know, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is how I'm supposed to behave. I think we always give them the negative and not enough of the positive.
Yeah, I would like to add here, don't afraid to take 10 times, don't afraid to take time to make your student ready for your class. It doesn't matter is it 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because if your student is not prepared, you're wasting all of your class. So don't worry to take time. Yeah, that's the key.
So just,
Sorry, just one.
Just a matter of interest.
Okay.
Now we look in terms of we talk about effective schools, all right, the model effective school, and we talk about in terms of SWOT analysis in terms of strategic planning. Here we put a lot of kelemahan weaknesses on the student, when in fact we should, number one, we should in terms of the actual management of the school. Number two, teacher itself also. What roles do you play? Now your lesson can be very boring, but I notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is a little bit on the teachers, but a lot on we are blaming the students, more like. So how in terms of the actual teaching and learning, is it interesting enough? Are they prepared enough? Because based on, if you look in terms of Naziran also, a lot of our teachers actually, they teach just to finish the syllabus. And especially, I think it's especially bad now. Myself as a PD, of course, because the benchmark will be in terms of PSR. That's why now there are a lot of argument in terms of doing teaching actually as administrative and trying to finish the syllabus, or trying to develop the 6 aspirasi murid according to PPM. I don't know. So I'm throwing it back to you because now we're placing a lot in terms of the students.
The name of this is research.
Okay. This is my opinion. Okay, my personal opinion is that is why we have to research our pupils. We have to, like me, I like to ask my pupils, is it okay? Is it good? Was it okay? And that it's not only that when I have my spare time, like I sometimes ask my fellow lab teachers, okay, do you think my lesson is boring? Do you like it? Well, you passed my class. What do you think? Do you think it was interesting enough? Was it good enough? That's why I personally I would evaluate myself. I evaluate myself.
If you look at number 1, to me, the problem is with the teacher. Alright, the aim is to teach new vocabulary through reading. And number 1, teacher reads the text and students follow in the book. Some students don't have a book. Now, whose problem is that? That is management problem. So how do you expect confirmation? How do you expect routine when you yourself is not in control of your classroom? So the main issue here should be the teacher's issue.
So write that down. Well, that's the case study is for your opinion. So in point number 1 is the teacher's at fault.
Because we see this day in, day out.
So what's the solution for this then? What's the solution if the teacher's method is not correct? The teacher needs to research their students and find out what works for their students. You know, the title of the research your students. This teacher's obviously doing something that's not interesting to
Yeah.
the students.
True.
They need to research what's
Yeah.
good for them.
Yeah, and just to add on, like number 4, you stated here girls at the front and the first 4 boys do the activity and bring it to the teacher who is sitting at the front of the class. Which means as soon as the teacher gives them work, she sits down, which is not
Yeah,
supposed
very
to.
good.
She's supposed to go around. Only
Very
when she
good.
does
She
that,
should go around.
she will know what problem the pupils face in the class. Whether they know how to write, whether they know how to hold the pencil. So the teacher, when she moves around, when she does that, the boy in the number 5 will not sleep.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I was going to say that a few minutes ago. Nobody has mentioned the sleepy boy,
Yeah.
so it's okay to go asleep.
That's because he knows that the teacher is comfortably sitting in the
Yes.
front, so he's sleeping at the back.
Teacher needs to monitor.
So it's WA, management by walking around.
Yes, monitor, yeah.
Yeah.
If teacher is sleeping, the student can also sleep. It's like a team, isn't it, teacher?
So, okay. Since we just ran out of time right now, before I end this, I would like to say thank you very much for coming and listening to our presentation. And as a closing, maybe this is, well, it's applicable for me, but maybe it would also be applicable to you. I believe that with proper research, we can make our students better focused, better manageable, and help them better understand their lessons in class. Also, this is a saying that goes like this. There's an old saying that goes, if you know your enemy, you don't have to fear 1,000 battles. Thank you very much for coming.
Students are not your enemy.
Yeah. I'm not your enemy.
And can I just add as well that this is the first time Akmal and Anita have done this, so I think you'd agree that they did a very good job. And in answer to Mr. Ambrose, yeah, I think what you said is very pertinent. The name of her presentation was Researching Your Students. And when you research your students, you have to react. So all of these are Ida's reactions to her research. She must change to suit her students. She's the teacher. So she changed by bringing them out of the class, by using different methods. She's reacting to her students, not to her students reacting to her. She's the teacher, grown up. Okay. Okay, thank you all very much. And thank you
very
too.
much.